back in Kayo. Bishop, my story is different. I think for me, I would say I am happy to finally come to Kayo, because I did not get the privilege of joining Kayo because I went to boarding school very early. So sikupata hii nafasi ya camps na ya conferences, but I'm so excited that I can be able to participate in this provincial conference. As it has been mentioned, my name is Kabiru. I am born again. I love Christ as my Lord and Savior. Please receive greetings from Bishop Jonathan Kabiru, Diocese of Nairobi, who has been a chairman of Kayo for many years. So for him, this is home. And I'm happy to finally experience the feeling of being in Kayo. Asanteni sana. Needless to mention that as it has been mentioned, watoto wangu wako hapa, watoto wa askofu wa Nairobi. Asanti sana. We are so happy to see you and to see you here in big numbers. Asanteni sana. Bishop, allow me to also acknowledge that quite a big team of clergy was able to accompany the Diocese of Nairobi, and I don't want to take it for granted. Thank you, Reverend Daniel, Reverend Nate, Reverend Mado, Asante sana for supporting our youth in the Diocese. Asanteni sana. And I want to say that I'll be glad to mention each diocese and say how happy we are that you're here. Asanteni sana. Now, in addition to that introduction, yes, I am a mother of 3 children who probably in a year or so, they will be joining you in the camp, because one of them is 16 years old. The other one is 15 years old. I have a son who is 16, a daughter who is 15, and my handbag who is 10 years old. And so I know that they'll get an opportunity to be able to join Kayo, especially when they get of age. For now, they are in teens. So I'm here to bring a very exciting topic, which is purpose-driven life-shaping destinies. And so excited that we can do this when we are here, a gathering of a whole generation. And this is not just a generation, but a generation of impact. And I want to recognize that not just a generation of impact, but a purpose-driven generation. Our children, our youths, I want to let you know that you are far ahead of time from us when we were in your age. The level of exposure that you have, the level of information that you are able to access is far much than we ever accessed when we were at your age. And therefore, there is so much expectation of you as young people, because the Lord has given you access to information. Interesting enough, in the year 2000, and no one should start calculating my years. Nawaona mkicalculate years zangu. But in the year 2000, we woke up to the new millennium. And for us, especially for us who by then, we were in our late teens, it sounded magical that we were getting into the era of the new millennium. And this new millennium came with computers. And we were thinking, wow, finally you can be able to type your work. Finally you can be able to actually get a little more information from the internet. And therefore for us, internet was just beginning to be introduced to us. And it sounded magical. But you agree with me that now, internet is not only magical, but it is transformational. It is giving you information that is out of this world, and therefore making you a generation that has the capacity to impact beyond imagination. But as Bishop has putly written, that yes, information, you are able to get information for decision making that is out of this world. But sadly, it is also information that has contributed to a lot of distraction of the young people. But I want to ask you that differentiate yourself as a generation, because this nation is depending on you. The counties where you are coming from are depending on you. The dioceses where you are coming from are depending on you, and you are therefore Christ ambassadors in Kenya, Africa, and beyond, and you are ambassadors in your own counties, You are ambassadors in your own dioceses. Now, let me see quickly the ambassadors, just by sampling the ambassadors that we have here. How many Christ ambassadors do we have here from Kilifi County? Do we have any Christ ambassadors from Kilifi County? Anyone who is coming from Kilifi County and is a Kayo member today? We don't have anyone from Kilifi County. Even people from Malindi are not here. Wacha basi niangalia hawa wengine. Do we have Christ ambassadors from Machakos County? Yes. Machakos County are here. What about Maralal? What about Nyeri? Hakuna mtu wa Nyeri? What about Trans Nzoia? Yeah, Trans Nzoia is there. What about Nairobi? Now let's go ahead. Let us try this by regions. Do we have any Kayo members from the Rivard region? Yes, those are our Christ ambassadors in Rivard. What about from the Mount Kenya region? Thank you. Yes, from the Mount Kenya region, and of course from Western Nyanza. We are excited to have you here. Now, I want to let you know that in the various places where you're coming from, the counties and the dioceses, they are depending on you for today and tomorrow. And back in 1975, two men were worried about the youth that they were handling. And they wanted to know what strategy can they adopt ili waweze kusaidia the young people, so that the young people can be able to grow to occupy places of influence and to occupy for Christ. Those two men, wa kwanza alikuwa anaitwa Bill Bright, who is the founder of Campus Crusade for Christ. Na wa pili alikuwa anaitwa Lauren Canhan, the founder Youth with a Mission. And they went out, and one of the things that was troubling them is that the young people needed to be shaped to be able to become shapers, to be able to become people of influence. And as they sat and they were thinking of how to influence the young people and how to cause the young people to be of influence, they identified 7 areas that the young people must be intentional, deliberate, and prepare to occupy. Last year, the Gen Zs threatened us with Occupy. Do you remember that time? Wakasema weta Occupy. And so we want to propose to you these areas that the Lord is calling you to occupy and to prepare to occupy and to prepare to influence. And in these 7 areas that Bill Bright and Lauren Canhan were thinking about were the 7 mountains of influence. So the first one is a mountain of religion. The second one is a mountain of family. The third one is the mountain of education. The fourth one is a mountain of government. The 5th one is a mountain of media. The 6th one is a mountain of business. And the last one is a mountain of entertainment. And the question that Bill Bright and Lauren Canham were asking, what if we had the right people occupying the mountain of religion that are representing the gospel of Christ right? Hii mambo ya Shakahola would have been past tense if we had righteous gatekeepers in the mountain of religion. What about if we had the right people occupying the mountain of family? Watu ambao wanaangalia familia vile Mungu angependa familia ikae. Then families would be stable. We would not be having people that are looking at marriage, that are looking at family as come we try. We would not be having people that are looking at marriage and screaming that marriage is a scam without finding out what God says. The society there ina scream sana, inasema marriage is a scam. But is that what God says? What if we had righteous gatekeepers in the mountain of family? Now, what if again we had righteous gatekeepers in the mountain of education and also in government, media, business, and entertainment? And therefore, this morning, I want to bring to you that if the young people are going to influence the nation of Kenya, if the young people are going to influence the communities that they are coming from, if the young people are going to influence the church, then they must be able to prepare for takeover. They must be able to prepare to take over these mountains, but you cannot be able to take over if you do not have the competence, if you do not have the character, and if you are not a righteous gatekeeper. And therefore, for you to shape destinies in the communities that you are coming from, for you to be able to shape destinies in the communities that you are coming from, then you must be intentional to be a person of competence and to be a person of character. And therefore, I want to give you the first take-home assignment. The first take-home assignment, as you walk this journey of being an influencer and being a game changer in your space, I want you to read Exodus 31. Because I will not read it, but I'll give you the highlights. I'll give you the highlights. And so Exodus 31 introduces us to Moses, and God is introducing two characters to Moses for building of the tabernacle. And I want just one volunteer. I want one volunteer to come here very quickly. Volunteer akuje hapa, thank you. Okay, ameshafika, thank you. And so if you read Exodus 31, you will see, and I'm quoting the NIV version, you will see God introducing two characters to Moses for the purpose of building of the tabernacle. And this is what he does. He says, see, I have chosen Bezalel. Almost showcasing Bezalel as a choice by God to help Moses in building the tabernacle. But he goes ahead and does what I interpret as reading the curriculum vitae of Bezalel. Bezalel is not just qualifying because he's Bezalel. He is qualifying because there is something about him that differentiates him from other people. So as God is saying, see, I have chosen Bezalel, he goes ahead to read the CV. And this CV, I call it the 5-choir CV or the 5 pages CV. And therefore, young people, I want to be able to introduce to you that if you're going to be introduced, see, I have chosen for you to be able to occupy. It will not just happen. You must go out of your way to have your 5-page CV, your 5-choir CV. And the first introduction that God does about Bezalel, he says, see, I have chosen Bezalel. Qualification number 1, he is filled with the Spirit of God and therefore has the moral capacity. My friends, if you have no moral capacity, it will be impossible for you to influence. It will be impossible for you to occupy seats of honor. It will be impossible for you to be trusted with responsibility. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in this world, was stating that when he's looking to hire, he looks out for people with energy. He looks out for people with skill. But above all, he looks out for people with integrity.